Hello, my name is Aliladia. I want to encourage you that knows the oil of God is on your head. You that God has called, you that you know you are God veteran, and you are sure that the Spirit of God is with you. But the voice of your older leaders, the voice of those that are older than you in the Lord, that God has even left. You know you don't know, but you are trying your best just to please them. I want to encourage you. Obey God the Father than obeying your so-called father of faith. There are many ministers of God, there are many prophets, there are many pastors, there are many teachers that God has left. God has left them and they are jealous of you. All they want you to do is to disobey God. If you look at when Saul threw the javelin at David, David did not say, "Oh, because Saul is a king, I will stay there and die a righteous death." No. The Bible said that David dodged the javelin. Even as at the time that Saul wanted to kill David, some persons in this dispensation, they would have said, let him just kill me, he's a Jew, I don't mind. But David escaped for his life. What has God called you to do? And you know God has shown you the way, and so-called fathers of faith that have left the faith are persuading you to do otherwise. And you are quoting scriptures that are not necessary, saying that God said we should obey those in authority. Who will you obey? God or God the Father? Let us look at 1 Kings chapter 13. There was this young prophet that God gave him an instruction that when he gets into that particular land, he should not eat anything. Even as at a time when he was able to heal a king, if you read the chapter downward, I just want to summarize. When he was able to heal the king after the king got an infirmity from stretching out his hand, the Bible said in verse 8 that the king persuaded him that he should eat. Look at what the young prophet responded to the king. But the man of God said to the king, "Even if you give me half of everything you own, I would not go with you. I would not eat or drink anything in this place. For the Lord gave me this command: you must not eat or drink anything while you are there, and do not return to Judah by the same way." So he left Bethel and went home another way. This young man of God was able to resist a whole king. But guess what? When he came to the point of a so-called father of faith, he was not able. He messed up. Verse 11 says, as it happened, there was an old prophet living in Bethel, and his sons came and told him everything that the man of God has done. Let us jump to verse 18. Or rather, let's look at from verse 15. Then he said to the man of God, "Come home with me and eat some food." This was the old prophet talking to the young prophet. There are many old, I want to use the word faded men of God that God has left. There was a time that God left Saul. There was a time that God left Eli. But how many Elis are ready to tell Samuel that this is the voice of God, they should obey? Look at what this old prophet did. After he told the young prophet to eat with him in verse 15, verse 16, the old prophet said, "No, I cannot." He replied, "I am not allowed to eat or drink anything here in this place. For the Lord gave me this command: you must not eat or drink anything while you are there, and do not return to Judah by the same way." But the old prophet answered in verse 18, "I am a prophet too, just as you are. And an angel gave me this command from the Lord: bring him home, blah, blah, blah." He deceived him. And in verse 20, then while they were sitting at the table, if we look at verse 18b, the Bible said, "But the old man was lying to him. So they went back together, and the man of God ate and drank at the prophet's home." I want to ask you a question. God that called you, God that gave you the mantle, God that called you into the work. God did not tell you to raise offering in that particular meeting, but because that pastor is forcing you to raise an offering, and you know that God doesn't want it, you are doing it. God did not call you to take that particular cloth. God did not tell you to accept that particular sword from that man of God. God did not tell you to follow that format in which they operate, but you are listening to the voice of people that God has left. Let us see what happened in verse 23. After the man of God had finished eating and drinking, the old prophet saddled his own donkey for him. And the man of God started off again. But as he was traveling along, a lion came out and killed him. His body lay there on the road with the donkey and the lion standing beside it. Listen, he lost his life. He lost his life. You have a godmother, and suddenly she wants you to lay with her, just like Joseph. You have a godfather, and suddenly he wants you to lay with him. You have to know what the law of God says about you. There are things that will come even when you know that they are mentors, they are fathers of faith. But my question is, who will you listen to? Fathers of faith, your God or your godfather? Are you going to obey God, the Father, than the man of God that is your father? See, you are spiritual, you know what I'm talking about. Everything that will make you compromise your faith, because you have to please a daddy, because you have to please a mommy. Be careful so you don't die like the young prophet. There are few airlines that will tell you that the Father is the one calling you. So it's wrong with your vision, because on that day you will give account of yourself to God. My name remains Aleladia. Once has the Lord spoken, twice you should know that the Lord loves you and He doesn't want you to die foolishly. God bless you. I will see you until bye.